Hey guys, what's up? Spectr here, and Cyberpunk 2077 recently made a showing at Summer Games Fest in the form of a playable demo. I've been scouring all the articles about the all-new experience coming in Phantom Liberty and boiled down all the details just for you. We won't only be getting a new story in the upcoming DLC, with new weapons, locales, and more, but this expansion will overhaul core systems in the game and finally deliver on some of CDPR's launch promises. Let's jump in. Just like the original gameplay demo itself, the Phantom Liberty demo has been kept under wraps, only available to those at Summer Games Fest playdays, but early reports out of various outlets seem to be incredibly positive. Sure, the new trailer we got a glimpse of is full of new details, but Phantom Liberty will bring about changes for all players of Cyberpunk, whether you buy the expansion or not. And that's what I'll be focusing on today. One of the most notable changes will come in the form of a revamped policing system, which now employs more elaborate tactics when responding to crimes committed by players. Instead of simply chasing and shooting, the police can block or T-bone players' cars, adding a new level of challenge. The police and notoriety system have been rebuilt from the ground up. Police investigations and responses are location dependent, with quicker and more aggressive responses in wealthier areas. The revamped system includes an introduction of special forces known as MaxTac, who will intervene when players reach a high notoriety level. Bosses will also spawn in the world based on player notoriety. These were all promises that we saw before the game's initial release, and it's great to see CDPR finally delivering on them. The expansion also introduces new quest types that are designed to be infinitely replayable, giving players a reason to continue booting up the game even after completing the main storyline. Great for players like me who wanted to play more of the game even though I feel like I've done everything throughout my 5 separate playthroughs. Phantom Liberty brings about various changes to the skill tree system as well. Skill trees now focus on providing players with unique abilities and perks, moving away from percentage-based stat buffs. This revamp adds depth to the combat and allows for more diverse character builds. According to CDPR, they wanted to move away from simple numbers and stats and give players abilities that they really want to use. The introduction of a unique relic tree allows players to upgrade their installed cyberware with additional abilities. The cybernetic system has also undergone a complete overhaul, with armor being tied to cyberware rather than clothing. Players can now wear any outfit without sacrificing defense and combat effectiveness. However, installing too much cyberware can result in debuffs and even cyber psychosis. Vehicular combat and weapon-mounted vehicles will also be introduced, allowing players to engage in combat while driving. Players can aim and fire weapons from vehicle windows and use melee weapons while riding a motorcycle. Vehicles now have weak spots as well, such as charging ports which players can exploit. There'll also be random car chases happening across the city, according to Pavel Sasko, who said, "We also looked at the criticisms, for example, of the open world. When you play the base game versus Phantom Liberty, you'll see the difference. For example, there are car chases that happen dynamically when factions fight. Those aren't the only changes coming to vehicles, as you'll have new missions that involve hacking them and stealing them, entirely new ways to acquire and buy them, and new iterations of old favorites that you might have driven across Night City. And a new courier activity has been added where players can steal and complete objectives related to vehicles marked across Night City. In addition to that, Phantom Liberty also introduces airdrop activities, which involves locating and securing random loot caches dropped across the map. Overall, virtually no system of the original Cyberpunk 2077 game has been left untouched in the Phantom Liberty expansion. These changes and improvements aim to enhance the gameplay experience and address criticisms from players, providing a fresh and engaging experience for both new and existing players. In fact, you might have to start an entirely new playthrough just to get a sense of all these new changes. From systems great to small, it seems like CDPR is leaving no stone unturned in their quest to leave the game in the best state possible. This is reflected in everything down to the smaller tweaks, such as a redesigned phone interface that enhances readability, making it easier to enjoy some of the game's well-crafted writing. Sasko went on to say, "We've also redone the loop and whole progression of the game. The difficulty curve is different, the tiers and drops of loot is different. The archetypes of enemies has been redone for more variety. Those are the core things that we've changed, and if you look into it, there are very few systems that we didn't change or update. Even the UI and UX have been greatly updated." Now, of course, there's a disclaimer here, as CD Projekt Red intends to deploy these new systems as a free update for the base game owners, although specific details regarding the rollout are still being discussed, meaning we don't know everything that will be behind that paywall. And of course, for story reasons, there'll also be skills only available to those who purchase the expansion. But there you have it. Those are some of the incredible changes coming to Cyberpunk 2077. How do you feel about them? Is it too little too late? Are you a PC player who's already been enjoying half of these updates through mods? Let me know below. And for more on Cyberpunk 2077, please check out the rest of my channel, as I've got lore dives, video essays on the game, and much more. Make sure to get subbed for more news on Phantom Liberty, as well as games like Starfield. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.